Folks, you are about to be shocked. The unthinkable just happened. We've got two major stories for you today. Number one, Iran just seized an American oil tanker involved in a dispute off the coast of Oman. This is a massive escalation and will bring more retaliation within days, likely within the next 48 hours. What do you need to know? Number two, it finally happened. Bitcoin ETFs have officially been approved and started trading this morning, and originally Bitcoin was going parabolic, hitting 49,000 at highs this morning before dumping massively as people took profits. In the second part of today's video, I'm going to walk you through what's coming next for Bitcoin, what the charts say, what history says, and some play ideas to take advantage. I'm going to explain to you exactly why people are taking profits off the table right now and whether that's going to continue. Let's get right to work, and a quick plug, our 50% off sale on our brand new options course, ZipTrader Options, will be ending very soon. Options are critical for those, especially with a small account, because you can leverage that money so much further than you can if you buy straight up shares. I'll put the link down below and you can learn more about it. Remember, coupon code HELLO2024 will get you 50% off. Make sure to take advantage of that before it expires. Okay, today, January 11th, 2024, there was a critical and key seizure in the Gulf off the coast of Oman. Quote, the Navy of the Islamic Republic of Iran seized an American oil tanker in the waters of the Gulf of Oman in accordance with a court order, Iranian state-run media said. Now, technically, if you do a few minutes of digging, you'll find that this ship actually was owned by a Greek company and managed by a Greek company. But there is a critical tie to America, which is why they're saying this, and I'll explain more later. The ship had just gone through the Strait of Hormuz and was headed for Turkey. And we've been talking here on the channel about how the Strait of Hormuz and the areas around it are going to be under threat after Iran-backed Houthi rebels had been screwing with vessels in the Red Sea leading up to the Suez Canal. Well, this area over here is also very, very, very critical, and you're going to continue to see this be a no-go zone for trade. Now, of course, the U.S. and Western allies have been taking on tons and tons of Houthi attacks, which are an Iran-backed group, but Iran itself had not yet taken any direct action aside from sending its own military commanding ship to the Red Sea, which hasn't done anything yet. Well, that all stopped this morning, and Iran showed that it is willing to directly confront Western ships and even say publicly that, hey, we're retaliating against America. But anyways, on that topic, I mentioned that this boat has a very, very interesting past. That is because it was involved in another geopolitical incident where the U.S. authorities actually seized it, and that happened just last year. The U.S. alleges that Iran paid the previous owner of this boat to charter Iranian oil to China. And it argued that by using U.S. dollars and the U.S. financial system, that this violated international sanctions. Tanker formerly known as the Suez Rajan has a complicated past. Last year, the Suez Rajan's charters pleaded guilty to charges filed in a U.S. court that it carried sanctioned Iranian oil. The company was fined and its Iranian oil cargo was seized. So what is the deal with this? What's going on here? Well, you see, folks, the U.S. has far-reaching sanctions against Iran in order to discourage the development of its nuclear capacity. And this very same ship, formerly known as the Suez Rajan, was seized by the U.S. for breaking those sanctions. And from Wikipedia, the Marshall Islands flagged Suez Rajan carrying Iranian-grade oil was seized in April 2023 by the U.S. Department of Justice. The Suez Rajan was carrying about 800,000 barrels of oil, a cargo worth about $56 million. The U.S. then took that boat, confiscated all of its oil, and then sold it and pocketed the dough, which Iran, of course, sees as stealing Iranian oil unjustly. So now, less than a year later, Iran is retaliating by seizing the same exact ship and is expected to take a similar action, seizing the oil and then, of course, selling it. And that's why this happened this morning. Quote, the St. Nicholas was boarded by armed intruders as it sailed close to the Omani city of Sohar, according to British maritime security firm Ambry. And its AIS tracking system was turned off as it headed in the direction of the Iranian port of Bandar-e-Jask, Reuters reports. So now that Iran has taken this vessel, analysts are expecting a massive retaliation to come from the U.S., which should take the overall escalation one step further. And after a series of Western assassinations, drone strikes, and back-and-forth proxy wars since October 7th, and really for most of the last 50 years, well, it's hard to imagine a retaliation making things any more calm in this region. Let us know what you think is going to happen next in the comment section down below. We love hearing from you. Okay, moving on, the coin of bit. So this morning, history was made. Crypto enthusiasts have been wanting a Bitcoin ETF for years, and they finally got it. It's been a very, very rough couple of years for crypto as major exchange after major exchange went up and collapsed collapsed and stories of fraud plagued the sector, but this green light from the SEC is the biggest step we've seen yet in rebuilding trust in this industry. This allows Bitcoin to enter the traditional world of investing and access a lot of traditional investors that otherwise didn't feel safe investing in the coin of Bit. And for context, on December 5th, we made this video, quote, going all in, explaining the reason why Bitcoin and specifically crypto miners like Mara were set up for massive rallies heading into Q1 of 2024. That thesis wasn't exactly unpopular, uncommon, and quite frankly, history backed up that thesis. Firstly, of course, the thesis was based on impending ETF approvals that were expected to happen in late January, and obviously they came out a little bit early just yesterday. Secondly, Bitcoin has always performed well going into halving, and Bitcoin halving this year is happening April 2024. Thirdly, an overall risk on market would pump Bitcoin quite a lot, and markets do tend to pump heading into a Federal Reserve interest rate cut. Obviously, overall markets haven't exactly been peachy so far this year, but markets do historically tend to perform really, really well before rate cuts. So if you're looking at history and you're looking at all of these things that add up, well, it added up to Bitcoin rallying into Q1. And heading into the ETF's approval, Bitcoin did certainly rally quite a lot, and then when the news came out, it continued rallying. But now that the ETFs are trading, you're starting to see a lot of profit locking in. Why would this be? Well, there's a few dynamics here. The old saying of buy the rumor, sell the news is one of them. People that bought anticipating this catalyst are now selling, but there's also the inherent value behind this catalyst. Institutional firms and funds that have long not been able to buy Bitcoin because there wasn't an SEC approved instrument are now able to pour in and are expected to do so. Clients that want exposure or want more alternative diversification in their portfolio can and will now ask their fund managers to allocate them into the ETFs. And that is going to have the effect of providing price support for Bitcoin for years to come, with a lot of that money expected to pump into Bitcoin this year. So that's the real catalyst to look forward to after the buy the rumor, sell the news folks leave. My thought process will look for Bitcoin to continue selling the next few days and then find support Monday or Tuesday, maybe midweek, but I don't think this selling is going to last long. I think it's going to be painful, but I don't think it's going to last long. What about place? Well, Mara did attempt back upward to cycle highs this morning, hitting 29 bucks, a few more bucks, and she would have broken into new cycle highs, which would have been lovely, but then she dove down as Bitcoin dumped. Now, the best rule of thumb with Mara is that you have to assume that she's always going to be a dirty little tease for people that say, no, Mara, she's a sweet, innocent gal. Well, I hate to tell you, but you're going to be left holding the bag time and time again on her. If you don't respect that Mara is a dirty little tease, she's going to end up punching you in the face, and your whole account's going to get knocked out. Remember, her whole business model is dependent on Bitcoin, so if people are selling out of Bitcoin, well, people will panic sell Mara in multiples, and that's fine. If people are buying Bitcoin, well, they're going to buy Mara in multiples. So it works both ways. You can't have the good without the bad. The question is, where is Bitcoin going overall, and where will Mara follow and multiply? Now, there's also another dynamic going on here beneath the surface. Investor Place ran an interesting article today talking about how Mara is a short squeeze candidate. Quote, nearly 21% of the total float of Mara stock is being sold short, and 58.4% of off-exchange trading volume is attributed to short sellers. So short sellers short this know that Bitcoin is on an uptrend, and they are absolutely horrified that Mara will keep breaking out. Not only is Mara a Bitcoin miner, but again, she has some 15,000 BTC on her balance sheet, which means that if Bitcoin keeps going up, these short sellers are going to get more and more and more screwed. They were expecting Mara to go out of business. Mara has been going up for many months now. If you're a short seller on this, you need Mara to go down to zero as fast as possible. You can't have Bitcoin going up, but you certainly can't crush Bitcoin, and you can't crush Mara while Bitcoin's going up. So what do? Well, any day that Bitcoin's selling off a little bit, you start dumping massively on the stock, making sure that anybody that's buying, holding the stock, anybody that's trading it, panics out as fast as possible. That way you can get a much lower price and you can start covering. Short sellers are trying to do damage control on Mara right now. They've been brutalized, and they're going to get way more brutalized if they continue to stay short this. So again, anytime there is fear, they're going to dump hand over fist to force the stock down, which is going to do two things. Number one, it's going to create huge opportunities for dip buyers who buy at support and recovery. And number two, it's going to completely destroy people that haven't opened the long-term chart for Mara and realize she goes like this. So anyways, folks, this is Mara 101. If you can't take the teasing, please do not think you're going to be present for the squeezing. Please do not think that you're going to be able to benefit as Mara goes up, because a lot of people, they look at it and they're like, you know what? She teases too much. It's not worth the money. That's totally totally fine, but you have to understand when you're going in. You have to have either risk management to play the teasing accurately, you have to have a really, really strong stomach to play it as it goes up and down, or you have to have a very, very clear strategy with options. Anyways, folks, that caps off today's video. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Make sure to hit that ravishing like button and subscribe. And as a quick reminder, our 50% off sale on ZipTrader options will end soon. So if you are looking to take advantage and join us before that happens, I'll put the link down below. Coupon code HELLO2024. Folks, this is a brand new A through Z course, and I believe you're going to be very, very impressed if you join us. We've already gotten a lot of emails from folks saying, wow, this is a good course. So anyways, folks, looking forward to having you on the team. Anyways, that's it. Charlie out.